Last week, I was sitting in a chair in a nondescript office waiting for a meeting to begin. Now, granted, I was 10 minutes early, but there was nobody else there except the receptionist. So I used that tiny window of time to do something while I waited. I opened my phone and jumped into declutter mode and deleted a few of the photos that I no longer wanted to have on my phone. Now, of course, eventually more people joined the meeting. I put the phone away, and that was that. But I got to thinking later that was a teeny bit of time that I could have chosen to spend in many different ways. I could have prayed or meditated, simply gazed out the window and contemplated the fuchsia colored azaleas. I could have worked on my grocery list, could have closed my eyes and sent vibrations of gratitude into the environment. But what I didn't do was complain about how cold the room was. I didn't choose to strike up a conversation that drew the secretary from her work. I didn't choose to create any chaos or negativity, even in the tiniest way. I was in waiting mode and I saw an opportunity for good. Welcome to Calm in the Chaos Interfaith Center, where we recognize that we're all waiting for something new, something good, something fresh and positive. Even though our lives may be rather cushy in the grand picture of the world's population, we are still waiting for a brighter day. It's human nature. The grass just might be greener on the other side of the fence. And we may as well use the waiting time for building something positive. What are you waiting for? Someone to rescue you, or someone to clean up the world's mess, or someone to fix the school system, someone to invent non barbaric dentistry? What are you waiting for? Now, historically, humans have relied on the expectation of a savior for what seems like forever. Christianity began with a savior, but the people didn't realize it right away. Christians are still waiting. They're waiting for the return of Jesus ever since he first disappeared from the earth. So they've been waiting about 2,000 years. His coming will perhaps not fix the troubles of the world, but it is more widely believed that he will save individual people who have chosen to follow him. Let's take a look at how some other faith paths have answered this waiting, this calling for an external deity to help fix things. The Buddhists are waiting for Maitreya, who is the Buddha of the future. Maitreya will be born to teach enlightenment to humans in the next age. Jews have been waiting for the Messiah for 2,500 years. Some Hindus have waited for Kali for 3,700 years. Kali is a potent form of the goddess Durga, associated with destruction, death, and time, but also with creation and rebirth. Eastern religions often employ a common goal of freeing us from the cycle of death and rebirth when we finally reach a perfect state, putting the onus of this liberation on us and how we live our lives here on earth. Western religions, on the other hand, often focus on a separate savior arriving to facilitate the process of our reaching that blissful state, often called heaven. Sometimes we aren't waiting for a savior, we're waiting for an event. There's a countdown clock on the internet telling exactly how many days, hours, and minutes we have in the United States until the next presidential election. If we focus on that moment when the clock is at zero, to the neglecting of this moment right now that we're living in, we may miss opportunities for joy, for reconciliation, for healing, for absorbing beauty. We may not notice the drop of dew. If we focus on the savior arriving, or the countdown to a significant event, we risk becoming the person who is so busy buying popcorn they completely miss the show. Now, granted, there are a lot of distractions and valid reasons why we might miss the show because of buying popcorn at the theater. The long lines may delay us. Sometimes the choices are too overwhelming as we mathematically calculate whether buying the combo drink and snack really is a bargain. We may run into somebody we know and strike up a conversation in the lobby, making us late for the show. Or after the long wait in line with the purchase, the juggling of the items, we may forget which theater we're supposed to find. All this is to say that while we're waiting for the show to begin, let us not be so distracted as to miss what's really important right now. Some people are very aware of living a virtuous life in the present moment, and they're trying to do so to avoid a judgment day or to attempt to accrue a great storehouse of good karma. But just because living virtuously is the right thing to do, we should do it. That's the reason. It fills our souls with riches beyond material goods and allows us to spend our waiting time creating positive energy to send into the world. So I ask again, what are you waiting for? And the bigger question, what are you doing while you wait? The here and now, the present moment, is the gift that we're given with every breath we take. Let's fill our moments with noticing and creating beauty. Let's not miss an opportunity to experience joy. It's everywhere, even in the chaos of the world. This is not to say that we should ignore the old Girl Scout adage of be prepared. If having a storehouse of canned goods makes you comfortable, do it. If having a stash of cash on hand gives you solace, do it. Prepare for the future, but waiting for the apocalypse shouldn't be the overriding tone of the day. While waiting for a savior or the end times or the next election, we need to continue to create goodness and wholeness. We need to create beauty and joyful times right now, each and every day. Focus on creating the best version of ourselves to present to the world. We need to show up for one another and to love one another, no matter how they show up. I was privy to a conversation recently where a person asked why there are so many more different people, is how she phrased it, nowadays. When I asked her to talk about what she mentioned more people with autism and more people with all those different flags. Another woman popped into the conversation with an answer that resonated beautifully with me. She said, because people just don't have to hide anymore like they did in the old days. I gently nodded in agreement. So I asked, what are you waiting for? Gas prices to go down? Jesus to whisk us away in rapture? For ringing the bell at the end of the oncology center? For the new chicken joint to be built in our neighborhood? And while we're waiting, let's focus on what is right in front of us. Multiple chances every day to do better, to take a step forward in our spiritual maturity and to be better, to honor however our neighbors and strangers show up in our lives, to accept them, to honor them and value them, and to love them. Because doing so isn't buying popcorn while we wait for the real show to begin. Loving one another is the show. Let's not miss it.